But now, a couple of to go to the negative side of side projects for a minute. Brent Hines from Mastodon. Now, I don't know if you guys know this. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Murmaider likes Mastodon a lot. So, when we heard that Brent Hines had a double CD coming out with his 2 side projects, we were in the headquarters like, oh, let's fucking check this out, right?
Yeah, I was pumped.
He was like, oh,
Brent, I hear this.
He was
Some more Mastodon.
Yeah, he ripped his shirt off. Oh, he was sweating. And all of a sudden we hit play on he has 2 side projects. The names escape me. I want to say one's West End Motel. I don't remember what the other one is, but one is like California surf rock. Where literally, you can picture being on the surfboard, cutting through the waves and all the videos.
It's like a heavier version of the Beach Boys.
And the other one just felt like psychedelic hillbilly music.
Yeah, that was
so like,
really weird.
Now that's him, and again, I don't know his method of thinking.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like him taking advantage of the fact I'm in Mastodon. I'm in one of the biggest bands on the planet. Here's what I just shit out a CD. Please buy it.
Yeah.
And, working in the music business, we have people who come in and go, fuck, you have that Brent Hines CD?
Yeah.
Oh, he's in Mastodon. It's got to be good. Like,
Well, you don't think he did it for the money, though, do you? I don't think
he did it for the money, but if, like Chester said,
it's a creative outlet.
It's a creative outlet.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he got to put it out because he's in Mastodon.
Oh, yeah, because
no band would get signed with that.
Like Marilyn Manson. I hate to even bring the name up. Makes music. He also paints. He probably shouldn't paint, but he sells his artwork.
Because he's Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
Oh, so his fans
he shouldn't
are
touch a paintbrush.
So I think it's the same thing where Brent Hines got the deal because he's in Mastodon, and it's like, hey, yeah, sure, we'll put out your shit.
Joaquin Phoenix,
but do you think
good actor, shouldn't rap.
Do you think this is really like a project he's been like wanting to do for a while?
Apparently, some of the interviews I read, he really seems into it.
Yeah.
But you got to think that Mastodon. The weight of making a Mastodon album at this point must be huge.
Oh, yeah.
Blood Mountain was a success. Crack the Sky was the album for them. It has now defined them.
Yeah.
And now with making The Hunter, it's got to be a little bit taxing on him. So maybe he just wanted to make a fun bullshit album.
Right.
But now on the truly... Now that's kind of on the bizarre side where, the guy from Mastodon making surf music. But on the bad side, I did a review last week, or 2 weeks ago actually, for Adrenaline Mob. Now, Adrenaline Mob is one of these superstar groups. You got Mike Portnoy, formerly of Dream Theater. You got Rich Ward from Stuck Mojo, Six Speed, and he plays with wrestler Chris Jericho in the band Fozzy. And you got this great band, and you got Russell Allen from Symphony X on vocals.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, and you're going, Mike Portnoy's a great drummer. He's not in Dream Theater anymore, whatever. I could not care less.
Yeah.
But you put this group together, and they got this other guy, Mike Orlando, who was voted in some guitar magazine to be one of the guitar superstars of 2009 or something. This guy's up and coming shredder, and you put these guys together, and it is the most generic bullshit bro metal EP I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And Russell Allen, you remember I played the CD for you,
I know,
and I was like, "Who is this? You know who this is?" And you were like, "That's not the guy from Symphony X, is it?" Yeah. It is. The lyrics are terrible. The first song is called Psycho Sane, and there's this ridiculous part where I think it's Portnoy, he loves to sing from the drum kit, and he's going Psycho Sane, motherfucking Psycho Sane. What the fuck is that? And this is one of those projects, now he's not in Dream Theater anymore, so this isn't a side project for him, this is all he's got.
Yeah.
But these other guys, come on, man, you guys got bands. Shouldn't you be touring with Symphony X there, Russ, or doing something good? This is not, please, for the love of God. This is one of those ones that just should never happen.
Yeah.
It's too much good made it bad.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. In the thing of side projects, all-star bands where all these great musicians come together in a band, they never work.
No.
It just never works, except Bloodbath.
Yeah, that's with
Michael from Opeth and Jonas from Catatonia.
Yeah.
That's one. But and again, it's completely different than their main band. It's brutal death metal, which is not what either of them do.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know there's one band that you really wanted to touch on in the side project realm because it's one of your favorites, and you worship the guy.
Tobias Sammet is his side project, Avantasia. He's for those of you who don't know, he's the lead singer of Ed Guy.
Ed the guy in the corner?
Yeah, Ed the guy in the corner. And he's been doing Avantasia for quite some time now. And I feel like Advantageous really built up. Fucking, the music is great, and I don't know. I'm waiting for them to come on tour around here. I mean, but like, what I like is that he's basically taking this whole idea of music, and he's basically just grabbing people from different bands and featuring them on it, and he has so many different guests, and it really is just a metal opera, and that's what his first the first two albums was metal opera 1 and 2 of Avantasia, and then he came out with the Scarecrow, and that's what set off the trilogy.
The Wicked trilogy.
Yep. And then even now, I mean, he's just that band has grown so much. I mean, that name of a band has grown so much.
It's got to be approaching like, the popularity of Ed Guy.
Yeah.
But the great thing is that he's not doing two of the same thing. Ed Guy is more traditional, like hard rock, almost power metal.
Right.
But just more like hard rock.
It's really his vocals is what gives it that power metal.
Yeah.
You know? And then they have some solos.
And then Avantasia is the metal opera. I mean, it's power metal, it's progressive,
and everything. All the instruments,
in there.
they throw tons of different types of instruments involved in there.
But having both, he's one of the few that I feel like somehow he manages to balance both.
Yeah.
Because we've seen him tour with Ed Guy twice.
Right.
And those are, whether or not you like Ed Guy does not matter. It's one of the best shows you'll ever see. We brought
he's a great
the other Keith. Came to the second show with us. He had never even heard of Ed Guy before. Didn't know who they were. Had an extra ticket. Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
And he that's what he sounds like. So we went, and by the end, we were like right in the middle, like 5 feet from the stage, and he had his fist in the air.
Yeah,
he didn't even know the words. He was just opening his mouth to the words.
Yeah. He wasn't even like a metal fan, really.
No, not at all.
He liked that style, and that was a good show. Who opened for them? Do you remember?
I don't remember, to be honest. I feel like it was that female-fronted band that broke up.
Kylesa?
No.
Didn't we see Kylesa, though, too? We saw
Kylesa and Intronaut open for somebody.
Mastodon.
Was it Mastodon?
Yeah, that was Mastodon. That was the first time we saw Mastodon.
Yeah, the female-fronted band, they broke up. Fuck, we had this problem once before. We couldn't think of the name of it. Oh, and Luna Mortis opened that show.
That's right.
It since broke up, unfortunately. They put on a really good show that night, too. But that's off the top. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, that was a good show. Avantasia, Ed Guy.
You still Avantasia without me, motherfucker?
That was actually the show that I turned around and saw like a fat version of you. Remember that?
That's right. You saw Fat Hell 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, side projects kind of go either way. I think we've given a couple good ones, a couple bad ones.
Yeah.
Are there any other ones in particular that come to mind, Murmaider?
Sons of Seasons.
Oh, that you did a review for them, right?
Yep. That was a good one. That's a good side project, and that has the keyboardist from Camelot, Oliver Palatai. Palatai, is that how you said?
Nickelodeon.
We won't insult him that much by calling him Nickelodeon, I'm sure. But see, that's another one. It's a keyboard player,
right?
Kind of starting his own thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he really took over in that one. So I feel like he was just doing it to be able to express himself, doing things that he couldn't do with Camelot as much because there's so much else going on in Camelot.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of keyboard parts in that album. But Sons of Seasons was a great side project, and hopefully they do more too. I'm hoping.
I mean, I think that's the key to this whole conversation is really that side projects are fine when they fill that certain criteria. You don't want it to sound like your main band. You don't want it to interfere with your main band. Like, you can't take 5 years off from, Mastodon to go make surf music. It just doesn't work that way.
Right.
You don't want to open for your main band.
Yeah, you don't want to open for your main band because that creates a conflict. If somebody doesn't like one, it's hard to, separate the two. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. I think once those criteria are met, I think, you can have a successful side project. Oh, and all-star bands don't work.
Yeah.
We're talking to you, Adrenaline Mob.
Yeah. See, I think bands before they go out and really make their own music, they need to listen to our podcast and get the notes that we suggest to them, and then they'll go off and make.
We should
great
start a hotline.
Well, I do hope that we've had some bands that we've talked about that we've openly criticized, and I hope that if some of the smaller ones listen to the podcast and hear us talk about this stuff, I hope that they understand we're not. It's nothing personal. It's not like we have a personal problem with them, but we're fans of music. We're in and around music all the time, and we're just trying to spit it straight, Dogue. So
it's straight.
So yeah, so that's just a little bit on side projects there, and you'll see us review a lot of side projects and try not to hold it against them. Mm-hmm. But so yesterday, a new interview went up with Nude Smeets of Project Masquerade. So check that interview out. Some really interesting answers to some of the questions we asked him, and we really appreciate him taking the time to do that.
Yep.
This coming week, you're going to find the new interview with Yarko from Brimir, which awesome. We couldn't believe it. It's fucking great. So hope you guys like that. We got a lot of interviews waiting to come back. So hopefully we'll just keep these interviews coming for you guys, and you guys can hear some cool answers to our cool questions.
Yeah.
And
just want to mention Light and Darkness Radio also. Check us out on there and check out his radio station, Live 365. He's always playing great music on there, so make sure you check them out. And he plays our podcast every Sunday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock, so you can catch us there too.
And he plays the interviews. When we have audio interviews, he plays those too.
Nice.
The cool thing is that a lot of his featured bands of the day are, I imagine it might not be a coincidence, but are bands that we've reviewed.
Yeah.
He featured Infinita Symphonia. He's featured a lot of the bands that we've done reviews for. So whether it's a coincidence or not, it's a perfect place to get your first taste of it if you don't know where else to hear it.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, his playlists are great anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that we end up reviewing, we've heard on his station and gone from there.
I mean, it's not like he's walking around with a Blink-182 tattoo on his arm or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I don't think his name's Tyler either.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, from all of us at the Sorrow Eternal headquarters, myself, Hell22, Chester's here, Murmaider's over there.
Yeah.
The Scenario's not here, but he'll be back, don't you worry, and he'll be leaving more grotesque stains on that chair.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you for that Scenario. Thank you for the hair gel and the suntan lotion smears all over my nice chair.
You hope it's suntan lotion.
Oh, jeez.
But the Scenario, when he's done unlocking his chakra, will be back to enlighten us on some more shit, and hopefully come back and finish his goddamn stump fiddle all over the office floor. And
who the hell makes stump fiddles?
Fenny Fuffer makes stump fiddles. That's what happens.
She is definitely the type to make a stump fiddle.
Yeah, but she replaced the horn on there with a cowbell.
Yeah, she actually uses it when she drives around her Ford Focus.
Oh, yes.
She just rings the thing off, and when people are in her way, she just shakes it and everything.
You remember that time she got pulled over by the cop, and she just put the stump fiddle out and started tapping it on the ground? And
oh, yeah. The cop ended up just dancing away. He couldn't even help it.
It was like this weird jug band. For those of you who don't know, and I don't even know if you guys know this, I was actually in a band years ago. The name of the band was Penis McGee and the Wandering Jug Band.
Can we YouTube this or something?
No, I don't know if any of the stuff survived. I don't even know if I still have the original recordings. I played the bass jug, so I was really responsible for that warm low end. So Penis McGee and the Wandering Jug Band. Well, she did say that. Penis McGee and the Wandering Jug Band. I was in a lot of bands, but...
Wait, that's what Fenny Puffer said?
No.
So until next week, where we'll be back with another great topic, whether it be about album artwork, or album artwork, or album artwork,
or even some more album artwork.
It'll be one of those topics next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. And hey, Murmaider, are you packing fudge over there?
God damn it! I am not a fudge packer. I'm doing some fly fishing for the weekend.